What's up, everybody? Welcome to another brand new live strong style show here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha here. Join my brother in arms there, Aaron Turner. How are you, Aaron?
Doing well. Still drinking on your generosity from last week from our listeners, so I appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah, Sam Adams up in here. Yeah, excited to talk about some wrestling and some stuff and get some good conversations going today.
Definitely. I already see the chat's pretty lively, so we're going to have some fun with the chat, I'm sure, as we go along with the show. We're going to talk about CM Punk teasing Daniel Bryan. We're going to talk about the W coming to AEW. We're going to talk about WWE Summerslam, the fallout, and also the reactions, both positive and negative, to what happened with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair leading into SmackDown last night. We're also going to get into the possibility that we got Braun, Strowman, and Buddy Murphy possibly heading to Impact. We're also going to talk a little bit more about Brandi Rhodes' tweet and what she was trying to get out there about black wrestlers and the fan support and black champions and what have you. We'll also talk about a little bit about NWA Empower as much as we can, and then get into more stuff as well as we go on through the show here today. And I'm excited to get into all of it. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, your Streamlabs and SuperChats, show your support for the show. Show the fact that you want this show to keep continuing on Saturdays live at 12 p.m. PT. So please make sure you send in your Streamlabs SuperChats as we go along. I've pinned it in the chat. It's in the description of the video, and it's right there above Aaron's head as well. So as we go along, send in whatever thoughts and comments you got. Make them fun. Let's have a good Saturday today, and let's have a little, as Aaron is doing, day drinking. Let's have a little fun with a little day drinking, talking some wrestling. All right, where are we going, my man?
All right, so we're going to talk about the SummerSlam event from last Saturday and the fallout, because there was definitely some fallout. I'll just go down the card, and then we can talk about interesting stuff along the way. Big E defeated Baron Corbin on the opening of the show, the pre-show, if you will.
Yeah.
RK Bro defeated AJ and Omos to win the Raw Tag Team titles. Alexa Bliss defeated Eva Marie and nobody cared.
Yeah.
Damian Priest defeated Sheamus to win the U.S. title. The Usos defeated the Mysterios to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Becky Lynch returned to defeat Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Drew McIntyre defeated Jinder Mahal. Charlotte Flair defeated Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley to win back her Raw Women's Championship. Edge defeated Seth Rollins. Lashley defeated Goldberg to retain the WWE Championship. And Roman Reigns defeated John Cena to retain the Universal Championship. And some crazy Viking man named Brock Lesnar returned. So I think, I don't know where you want to begin with it. I can tell you that my general thoughts on SummerSlam was A, it was too long.
Yes.
B, let's just get into it. So Becky Lynch returned, and it's great. It's great, man. It's great. We love Becky Lynch, right?
We do.
Everybody loves Becky Lynch. Comes out, disposes of Carmella and Zelina Vega or whoever else was out there, and then it's her versus Bianca. And okay, all right, I guess we're going to do this. And then Becky Lynch goes for a handshake, pulls her in for a Uranagi and beats her in like 10 seconds. And, well, I don't know how it happened, but WWE made me not like Becky Lynch. And apparently the word backstage was that Becky Lynch wanted a heel turn. And if I'm the WWE, that is one time where I say, no, we're not going to do it that way. Or if you want to do it that way, if you want to make Becky Lynch a heel, this is what you should have done. You have Carmella come out and Zelina Vega, and they challenge Bianca and beat her down. Then Becky Lynch comes out, huge pop.
Right.
And they team up to face Zelina and Carmella. They beat them, of course. It's a nice, easy return for Becky Lynch.
Right.
Then Becky Lynch holds up Bianca's hand. She's like, yeah, she's the champ. Then Becky Lynch beats the shit out of her.
Right.
If you want to be a heel, do that. You don't sacrifice Bianca Belair, one of your top young stars, for this return. Like it felt weird. It felt way out of place. I would say, I think I'll go out on a limb here and say that the internet definitely did not care for it. We're all happy to see Becky Lynch back. She looks fantastic, but not at the expense of Bianca Belair. I absolutely hated it. Hated it 100%. It sucked. What do you think?
Yeah, 1,000% agree with you. I texted you about it as it was happening. I was excited that Becky was coming back. I was really surprised they blew the wad at SummerSlam. I thought they were going to do something at WrestleMania. But it made sense. On the heels of the CM Punk thing, this is one of those rare moments where the WWE got caught with their pants down, so to speak. And that was CM Punk's response was so huge. No matter how much they trotted out their former wrestlers or their current wrestlers to say stuff in interviews to try to undercut or underplay CM Punk, didn't matter a goddamn bit. It was an explosion of love for CM Punk. Then the next day, for them to hold, or I guess the next day, for them to have their pay-per-view on a Saturday, which already felt weird on its own, to bring Becky back in that way. And people were excited to have Becky back. The place erupted. That's for damn sure. They love the sound. Then she comes in and does something that was really insulting. And look, you can argue whatever you want, but optics fucking matter. And in this business and in this world in 2021, optics matter. Stephanie McMahon going on Fox News to promote SummerSlam, but not on CNN. Optics effing matter. Vince approving this ridiculous squash of Bianca Belair is ridiculous. Now, if the WWE hadn't made a point of letting the black wrestlers talk about how important it was for them to historically win these matches, to go at WrestleMania against another black woman for the title, then you could honestly get away with saying, look, they're just wrestlers. We don't see color. We would have done this with any other wrestler. But you don't. You take advantage of the fact that you guys have been terrible with your track record towards people of color, especially black wrestlers in the WWE. So you set yourself up to be criticized when you pull stupid crap like this on an up-and-coming star that you have worked so hard to get the people behind. It was horrible. I went from elation to absolute disgust by the end that Becky was walking out. And I didn't even give a fuck that she was a heel. Like, I couldn't care less that she wanted to be a heel or tried to be a heel. It came off as terrible, irregardless of heel or face. It came off as a massive fumble by the WWE. Lesnar coming back was cool, and we can talk about that a little bit later. That worked within what they had set up, but the Becky Lynch thing was terrible, and it buried Bianca Belair. No matter what she does, it's still a burial to a degree, and the WWE sanctioning this, saying this is okay. You understand why these other wrestlers are getting out of this fucking company, because they want to take creative control of their characters, because they don't want to be in a position like that. And so, to me, I think this was a horrible mistake by the WWE, and it really undercuts Becky Lynch with a lot of the fans. Maybe not the fans in the arena who were cheering for her last night on SmackDown, but certainly eventually this is going to look kind of terrible. And what do? Do you have Bianca win the belt when she gets her shot? Then what's it matter that you did what you did? It's a complete mistake, and I don't think there's any way back for them. And how do you fumble the ball on the return of someone that people have been waiting for such a long time, Aaron? It's such a colossal mistake. I was just amazed at the amount of mistake that they made, the level of mistake that they made.
And I mean, let's make no mistake about it. Like, WWE still continued to advertise Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair at SummerSlam the day of, when they knew days, if not weeks before, that Sasha was not going to be there. And this is not the first time that's happened. So, where's Sasha? What's going on? If it's something medical, I don't really need to know. But what's going on? Like, come on. I hated that part of it. So then we get this screw job, I call it fuckery, but it's just it just really irked me bad, because yes, the fans will cheer Becky Lynch, and she can't be a heel because people will love her no matter what. So she can be as mean and as dastardly as she wants to be when she's like, she pulls the Conor McGregor and she says, I apologize for absolutely nothing. Yeah, we get it. It's bad theater. Like, it's not good.
Anti-establishment Becky is fun to watch,
right?
Even when she's playing a heel. Heel Becky, you start to see the cracks in her acting ability. You start to see the cracks in her ability to really play this character, because she's limited. I know people want to get mad. If people want to get mad, you can get mad. I'm an actor. I know good acting. I know when I see it. When Becky's anti-establishment heel, that really leans into her natural instincts, and she's great at it. When she tries to play overt heel, it really comes off as fake and inauthentic, and doesn't work. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, and what are they going to do? What are they going to do with Sasha when she comes back? If she comes back, or It's just a mess. They just completely messed that whole thing up. Like, there's a way you could have done it, and we could have stretched this program to where, Becky gets the better of Bianca, but beats her like you would actually beat her. She can do some screwy stuff, and it would be a surprise, and then maybe people would turn. But they're not going to turn on Becky because they love her too much, and I get that. It's just, I don't understand the sacrificial lamb. Like, Bianca was doing so well. She's well liked. She was on all these advertisements.
Yeah, they were using her music to promote the SummerSlam, dude.
Just doesn't, I don't know, man. Something screwy about it, and it's just it's like a whole epidemic in WWE right now. Like, this whole screwy. Like, there's a time where you could watch, like, you watch wrestling and you say, like, okay, I kind of get why that happened, or you can kind of figure out where they're going with something. But something like this, I'm just like, have they completely lost their mind? Like, why? Why did that happen? And you just had people, of course, does Vince know better than us? I don't know. But, like, you have Bianca come out, like, the next night at a live event, and she's just like, we heard you. I'm going to get my title back. All this kind of stupid stuff that we don't need to hear. But it's just like, come on, dude. Like, they completely ruined it. It's just completely awful.
Yeah, it's nuts. And the Sasha Banks thing, that's a real swerve. I mean, everything around this match was a phenomenal swerve against the fans. I thought they couldn't one up what they did to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, but then they went and re-upped it here. Like, they really went one level above with this, because you lied to the fans because you knew Sasha wasn't going to be in this match the whole time, but yet you promoted it with Sasha being there. You knew the anti-vaccination stance was going to be an issue, but you promoted it anyway. Then at the last minute, you throw the swerve of Carmella and her, and the fans already are turning on the match because that just happened 24 hours before on SmackDown.
Like five times before that.
Yeah, and 5 times. So there was no real, and Carmella keeps losing. So you're also burying Carmella. Let's not lose sight of that too. You also really buried Carmella, who's been a champion, who's been a fantastic heel, who's really come along over the last few years as a personality, as a talent in the ring. You just consistently bury her to Bianca, and then have Becky Lynch literally throw her out like she's a dish towel, and it means nothing, and then have a completely inappropriately sanctioned match. Since when has a match ever been sanctioned without a general manager coming out or without an owner coming out to say, okay, you can? When does the champion get to dictate when they can put the belt on the line? It just, all of it looked really, really terribly done. And even Bianca, I think Bianca sensed this was going to happen. And before, I mean, how can I say this? She knew obviously what they had planned out, but I think Bianca was kind of weird about it there. She was jumping up and down and smiling and doing all the stuff in the ring, really trying to undercut Becky's kind of attention in this whole situation. And I thought, oh, okay, so this is going to be like a knockdown, drag out match. And to do it as a squash match was such a final punch in the gut. And I don't understand people who are going out there saying it was such a great moment and people will remember it for the rest of their lives. Yeah, they'll remember it for all the wrong reasons. And I think that's what you get at when you see this whole situation and the way it played out at the end. It's not a positive. It doesn't help the WWE in any way. And please don't get fooled by house fans cheering for Becky. That doesn't mean the entire world is cool with what you just did. It's a horrible look. And I know there are probably numerous black wrestlers who saw that moment and were like, yep, there's the WWE again, doing that bullshit again.
It reminded me a lot of that WrestleMania match between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, where Sheamus beat him in like 8 seconds. And everybody was like, what? Like, it's Daniel Bryan. That's like one of the best in the world. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, even on paper, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch like doesn't really make physical sense because Bianca Belair is such a better athlete, stronger person. She would, like, I feel like in a real fight, she would probably fuck Becky Lynch up real quick. Yeah. So it just doesn't compute, I guess is what I should say. But it just, man, I tweeted like after this happened, I said, guys, Charlotte Flair could still win and Goldberg could still win. We've got a long way to go. Like, I considered turning it off right here. I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like where we're going with this. But it's just, it's so confusing. Like, even people that have defended WWE hardcore, like myself and other people, are just like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. And Nikki Bella had some words about it.
Let's not talk about that. Because Nikki Bella was drunk and obviously, And while she was correct,
yes,
in her statements, she was drunk.
All right,
and kind of embarrassing, but that's okay.
She was right.
She's not right. She's not wrong, but
that's what I'm saying. She was right. So, as I can tell you, that wasn't my favorite moment. It was when Bianca Belair lost. That definitely was not my favorite moment, and that was not a personal shot at Becky. It's about booking. It's about looking at the business with objective eyes and seeing what a terrible decision that was. And you look at the optics of it all, and I'm telling you, man, and I'm really holding back saying some things I really want to say about optics and about white owners and about not calling to task certain white players when they go after people of color. It's a fucking shit thing. And I'm sick of seeing it. And when you see or competitors of color, when you see this happening in the WWE, it's just so frustrating to see the top dude who's white say it's okay to see this happen to one of their really proud, strong, and rare black champions like Bianca Belair, who's still in the beginnings of her career, if you can even believe that. She's still young enough to be at the beginning of the prime of her career. And it's just like frustrating as hell to see that happen. Anyway, yeah.
I don't understand it. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
We could make a whole show out of this.
We could.
Charlotte Flair won again. Edge did some cool shit with the Brood entrance. That was cool. But otherwise, I thought the match was sadly forgettable. Bobby Lashley defeated Goldberg by essentially stoppage.
Yeah.
Sucked. Whole thing sucked. It should have just been. Here we again talk about black champions. Like, why? Drew McIntyre, who destroyed Goldberg.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar destroyed Goldberg eventually. The Undertaker beat Goldberg, like, an old man. Why the hell can Bobby Lashley at 45 years old, who is in has been in his physical prime for 20 years, who doesn't look 45, who's athletic as all hell, jacked to the gills, has been dominating everybody, is the almighty champion that they keep touting him about. Why can't he beat Goldberg in less than 5 minutes? What's the point?
Right.
And then MVP, the whole screwy finish of this match was MVP hitting Goldberg with a cane, which the first time that Goldberg got hit with it, he didn't sell it. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to sell my knee now.
Right.
And then it's just this is dumb as hell. And then they thought that Lashley would get heat for putting Goldberg's son in that full Nelson, the Hurt Lock. And people loved it. Yeah. People were cheering it. It just, everything they wanted to do just backfired. This didn't work at all. So I feel bad for Lashley because I feel like he's on the best run of his career. Obviously, he's a WWE champion. But it's just you can't get out of this man's way. You try to give him Goldberg to make somebody look intimidating and somebody that can maybe beat Bobby Lashley. And you let him hang around too long. If Lashley beats Goldberg in 3 minutes, people are like, oh shit. This guy's going to continue to, because he did it to Kofi, former WWE champion Kofi Kingston, beat him in 2 minutes. Makes no sense.
20 years younger than Goldberg. Yeah. So I agree with you. It's just so goddamn frustrating because you're just like, man, what you got to find the right opponent for him. You got to somehow find a way. And maybe it is McIntyre. Maybe you build McIntyre back up. He had that easy victory over Jinder, and you have McIntyre become either a heel or either a super face compared to Bobby, or you turn Bobby a face and make McIntyre the heel, where he is doing all kinds of terrible shit to become a hardcore heel to go up against Bobby, beating up MVP and doing all this nonsense.
But haven't we done this? We did it at WrestleMania. We did the pay-per-view before that.
Have him win this time. That's the difference.
I don't think anybody wants that right now. As much as I like Drew,
then who are you going to do, dude? Who's left on that roster that you think would? I mean, Big E. Everyone's been talking about Big E, but
I don't know. Quit sending everybody to SmackDown and give Raw somebody, and quit releasing people like Bray Wyatt and give him somebody to feud with. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's the frustrating part of this all, is who does he have to fight? We can complain all day and all night, but he has no one to fight. So it's well, where is the rival that's going to bring out the best in him? And we don't see it yet. And you're right, because he's been fantastic. But who's out there that's going to do it? It ain't going to be, you're setting everything up for Roman Reigns and for Lesnar and all of that, but you're not really setting stuff up for Bobby Lashley. It's unfortunate. And eventually he's going to lose the heat. He's going to lose the pop, and they're just going to take the title off him anyway. So You see it happening. Absolutely. The Charlotte Flair thing. Let's move to that one. Defeating Nikki ASH and Rhea. So what was the point of Nikki cashing in the Money in the Bank against Charlotte if Charlotte was going to win the belt back anyway, man? Was this a response to the reactions to Charlotte? Did they feel that Nikki ASH wasn't selling? They tried it for a couple of weeks. It didn't have as big of a pop as they were hoping for. Or what was the point of even letting her lose the belt just for her to win it back again? I'm starting to believe some of these conspiracy theorists who think the WWE is trying to get Charlotte Flair to break Ric Flair's record of how many titles she has won. What do you think about this decision?
Well, I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, we talked about it last week. We were going to see what WWE thought of Nikki ASH as champion at SummerSlam. If she wins, they're going to run with her, like they did with Damian Priest. Damian Priest won his first title. They're going to run with Damian Priest. Damian Priest is one of the few that have come from NXT and have been just as good, if not better. In treatment wise, Nikki ASH, she's kind of been up and down, roller coaster stuff with Alexa was good when they were tag team champions. Then they kind of forgot about her. Then they bring her to this thing that she put together and they make her the champion, which is great. And then I think they just said, this sucks. And we're going to make Charlotte the champion. So it sucks because she could have really done something good, I guess. I wasn't a fan of the superhero character that she's doing, but maybe there's a different dimension to it that we haven't seen yet. But as far as this goes right now, it's once again, it's fuckery. And it's like, what in the world? Like this booking is weird. It's weird.
Yeah. You don't see the logic behind it. That's the frustrating part of it all. You almost, does she become, someone suggesting a Murderanta. I'm still saying Nikki will go from almost a superhero to almost a supervillain. Is that the next step for Nikki ASH? Does she react to this loss in a more brutal way and become a villain and start to really mess with Charlotte Flair? I don't know, because you've got Rhea Ripley already set up in this as well.
Well, so I'm going to tell you, man, jumping off of that, if you want to keep building dimensions to Alexa Bliss's character, which it looks like we're going to get Alexa and Charlotte, then you make Alexa Bliss, Nikki ASH's Joker. And eventually,
oh my God,
she corrupts Nikki ASH and we switch sides.
That's a great idea.
So why not do that?
Yeah.
Why not? That would work.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea, actually. A pseudo Batman situation in that. That's
what we're setting up, right?
Like
if you want to be a superhero, you got to have a supervillain to go up against.
Right. It's a good point. Let's see. I think the other things we pretty much predicted: Big E beating Corbin, RK Bro winning. I think both of us had that. No surprise there. Damian Priest defeating Sheamus wasn't a surprise for either one of us, I don't think. The Usos beating the Mysterios, and the Usos look good doing it. Just wasn't that thrilling of a match. Drew McIntyre, that was a real squat. That was a real wet fight.
That was disappointing, dude.
That was
really disappointing.
Yeah. Did you expect more from Jinder, or did that to let them fight a little bit longer or a better match from both of them?
I kind of thought they were going to push Jinder again, and they didn't. And it's like, whatever. Why was he there? It doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, now let's go to the end. What about Roman Reigns and Cena and Brock Lesnar coming to get back? Let's talk about that. Roman Reigns, I thought it was a hell of a match by Cena considering the situation. And in the end, though, Reigns overcame him. So, and Cena, who said he was going to be there every week, tweeted out afterwards, I'm going to take a bit of a break. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, my God, dude. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew he wasn't going to be like, I'm home again. I'm not just coming back for this go around. I'm coming back for a while. I was like, bullshit. And as soon as he lost, hey, guys, peace out. I'll see you later. I'll be back down the road. Man, come on, dude.
Yeah, the match was honestly better than it had any reason to be. It was quite good.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't care for was that John Cena hit Roman Reigns with an FU from the second rope, and it he got a close 2 count, which is fine. Roman kicked out, but then Roman beat him 1, 2, 3 with one finish. I was like, come on, damn it.
Yeah,
but it was good. It was really good for what it needed to be. I think it did great for Roman Reigns. Probably did a hell of a. It was the most successful SummerSlam they've ever had. So let's not shy that away.
Right.
Roman Reigns establishes himself as the top person in the wrestling business for now, in the top draw for now, and he gets met with Brock Lesnar. I don't think anybody will ever make fun of a man in a ponytail ever again.
Jesus.
Because he looks like an absolute mastodon.
Yeah.
And there was people on the internet that said Brock Lesnar looked out of shape. I think you and I talked about this. And I showed a picture, and Brock Lesnar looks more jacked than ever. Like, it's unbelievable. This dude's a freak.
What Aaron said was it looked like he'd been ripping sequoias out of the ground with his arms. He's so big right now. And he's like, yes, you're absolutely right.
He's unbelievable. And he comes out and the vibe instantly changes. Was it as big as CM Punk? Absolutely not. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm not here to tell you a lie. Right. But like I said last week, it would get people talking if Brock Lesnar returned. And it sure did.
Yep.
It definitely, I think there was more people talking at the end of the day about Brock Lesnar than Becky Lynch. Could be wrong, but it felt that way to me. Right. I think people are excited to see Brock. It looks like they're going with a Brock Lesnar face. Interesting. Yeah,
looks like
so that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Of course, the story's already built in with Roman Reigns and Brock have history, and they both have history with Paul Heyman. So it'll be a nice story to tell. It kind of comes together nicely. It just depends. Like, I read that Brock's deal is a year and a half with 8 matches.
Okay.
So it kind of depends. 8 matches. So it depends.
Fucking hell.
It depends on what we do here. Like, if SmackDown was any indication, does it look like we're getting Brock versus Roman right away?
Right.
Maybe they're saving that for Royal Rumble. Maybe they're saving that for WrestleMania. I'm not sure. If you can't get The Rock and you can't keep John Cena around, you get Brock Lesnar. It's a pretty good trade-off. Right. So I'm fine with it. I'm glad to see Brock Lesnar back. I think that he brings eyes to the sport, to WWE, that they needed. Probably the best thing they did all night.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And it worked out overall for Roman Reigns, once again reestablishing himself. There have been rumors about leukemia possibly coming back, some health issues. Well, looks like none of that was true because he won this thing, retained the belt, and he's going to go up now against Lesnar. Do we think it'll be a Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns to go back to his original boy, Lesnar? Will they hire someone, or will they bring someone on to essentially be the mouthpiece for Lesnar? Because that was one of the essential things of Lesnar having a second or third or fourth run in the WWE most recently, was because Paul Heyman was his representative. And so that to me was really important. So I wonder if they're going to have someone do that for him, who is out there that would possibly step in to fill those shoes and go toe-to-toe with Heyman on the mic. I don't know. So this is going to be, do you trust Brock to be able to do face promos to build up these matches? I don't know if I trust Brock to do that. What about you?
I do. Yeah? I do. I see Rafael Rodriguez in the chat saying Brock is so boring. And I get that. I get where that comes from with some people. Every time I see Brock Lesnar, I get excited. Like, he's a giant man. Like, he's legitimate. Like, when John Cena's music hits, like, and he came back at Money in the Bank, people were excited. Like, oh yay, John Cena. When Brock Lesnar comes out, like, you hear his music, he's been gone for a while. You don't say, oh yay, you say, oh shit. Like, somebody's going to get beat up. Like, you feel that because Brock Lesnar is a legitimate NCAA heavyweight champion, UFC champion, went to the NFL for fun. Yeah. Like, he's just a different breed of cat, man. And every time I just appreciate the athleticism and everything that he does. And he may not be like the most wrestling business guy. Yeah. But he does what he does, and when Brock wants to work with you, Brock will do anything for you. Case in point, that match he had with Daniel Bryan a few years ago at Survivor Series, he'll do anything for you. So when you get a good Brock Lesnar, you get good stuff. Yeah. So I'm here for it.
Absolutely. We have a couple of we have a Streamlab and a super chat run through. Roberto Arsenal says Karrion Kross' new look is pathetic. I feel sorry for him. Punk referencing Daniel Bryan without saying his name was great. I'm really excited for the pay-per-view Labor Day weekend. I was happy to see Naomi and Liv Morgan get TV time last night. Oh, there you go. The Karrion Kross new look. Aaron, any comments on that, or do you want to wait on that one?
He looks like he's in Demolition. It looks bad. It's bad optics. They gimmicked up. They put a hat on a hat, as you would say. Like, he already had a gimmick, and it was like kicking ass. And then that one time at TakeOver, he wore some like gladiator shorts. Yeah. And then, like, I guess Vince saw that and was like, let's make him a gladiator. And it's just like, somebody put up a meme that had Joaquin Phoenix said, you will take off your helmet and tell me your name. And then had Karrion Kross saying, my name is Gladiator. It's just terrible. Just terrible. Awful stuff. Really but I will tell you this. If they book Karrion Kross to beat the shit out of people, it doesn't matter. It's just a hat on a hat. It's just a hat on a hat.
That's true. This is from the At Matman podcast. They spoke to a source regarding Cross's new ring gear. His response was, everything and everyone must be marketable. Toys, shirts, imaging, and accessories. You need to stand out to sell, and this is how they sell. Yes, sometimes, and sometimes no, because sometimes when you're marketed incorrectly and you put on stuff like that, getting attention for all the wrong reasons is not good for marketing. Listen, I know the phrase is any publicity is good publicity. That is absolute horseshit. There is bad publicity that can sink you, and changing, and he almost looks like what with the shock, whatever that guy's name, I forget the
Shockmaster.
Shockmaster. He's got a little bit of Shockmaster vibe with the mask on and right. I see the demolition stuff and all of that, but it looks, and also what's worse about the look is that it's incongruent. It doesn't actually go together. The mask makes no sense when you're wearing, if you're wearing the hockey mask like Lord Humongous in Road Warrior.
That's exactly what he reminded me of, Lord Humongous.
Right, but that's a separate, then go with the hockey mask. Do not go with this like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hockey a mask that you're wearing that look like something. It looked like to me something like Shredder would wear, combined with a look of Demolition. It doesn't make any sense at all. You're coming real close to the Ascension, and we know what happened to the Ascension. So this is doing him no favors. They should stop this overall. Just let him be Karrion Kross. Let him do his thing. If Scarlett's not a part of the equation, then find someone else to replace that part of the equation to let him be Karrion Kross again. I do not understand bringing someone up and then absolutely undercutting what got them to the point of you wanting to bring them up. It makes no sense to me on so many levels. It's like recruiting Jerry Rice out of or Terrell Owens, who he was a recruit, and then going, you know what? I think you're better as a quarterback. I think you're better as a lineman. It just doesn't make sense at all. You recruited them, you drafted them, you signed them because you know what they can do. Let them do what they can do and let them see if they can get over with their original gimmick. If it doesn't work in 3 months, then or 2 months,
then you can
start to look at some changes you can make. Yeah,
sure.
That's what I think.
And we don't know what's going on with Scarlett. Apparently, she has some sort of personal family issue or something, so we don't know what's going on there.
Exactly.
So that could be the reason. But yeah, here's the deal, dude. You want to say something about being marketable. Do you know Stone Cold Steve Austin was a bald guy with a beard that had black boots and black trunks? Like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yeah, he had the reason that Stone Cold Steve Austin got over was not because he looked like, a fucking dude from Demolition.
Right.
He could talk, and he proved it in the ring. Like, he would say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to stomp a butthole in your ass. And then he would do it. Like, that's all Karrion Kross has to do. Like, tick, tock, your time's up. Then he goes out and chokes somebody out.
Yeah.
You're made. It doesn't matter. So hopefully he can get past this gimmick. That's what I hope.
I hope so too. I agree with you. Javier Reyes says, I thought the Seth Rollins versus Edge was the best match on the card, but that's just me. Yeah, I don't share Aaron's opinion. I didn't think it was a bad match. I enjoyed the match. May not have hit the heights that I was hoping, but I still enjoyed the match. And yes, that intro was great. So you're not alone, Javier, but certainly Aaron doesn't share your opinions.
I guess I just hyped it up in my brain too much because I was really excited for this. This is something that would built for a long time. And it looks like they're immediately going away from it too. Like, Seth Rollins looks like he's moving on to something else, and so does Edge. So it's like, we just did that for SummerSlam to get Edge a win? Oh, okay. I haven't been, and this is going to sound really bad, I haven't been impressed with Edge since he's come back. I haven't seen in terms of matches, like he had the stuff with Randy Orton. He's Edge. He's a Hall of Famer. He's got nothing to prove to me, but it's just, I don't know, dude. Just
okay. All right, fair. Ranger Donald 1 says, Adam Cole saw Karrion Kross's new look in recent matches on Raw and went, nope, I'm leaving for sure now.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's, like I said, it's a hat on a hat. It makes no sense. It just, why? Why are we turning people into Mortal Kombat characters? Like, WCW did that, and it sucked. So
it doesn't.
I'm with you, man. I hope that wasn't the case for Adam Cole. It's just really bad timing, I can tell you that. So
yeah.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Javier Reyes comes back, says they did the same thing with Bobby Roode. He was a heel in NXT, then brought him in as a smiling baby face to the main roster. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, they ruined him. Very true. They absolutely ruined Bobby Roode. If they would have just kept that trajectory going, he could have been I don't want to say like he could have been the next Ric Flair, but he could have been like Flair-esque in the way of he's a great wrestler that like could be an asshole on the microphone, but you'd still be like, damn, I respect that guy. Yeah. Like maybe a Tully, not necessarily a Rick, but he could have been that guy, and now he's just another guy.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. 1,000%. All right, where are we off to next, my man? Anything more to say on SummerSlam? Or are we moving on?
We're going to talk about NXT now.
Okay.
Takeover, great show for the most part.
Yeah.
If you didn't see Ilya Dragunov versus Walter, you missed one of the best matches of the last decade.
Talk about a guy who's getting over just wearing trunks, Aaron. Walter. I mean, god damn. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
If Walter, I think Jim Cornette said this, if Walter was wrestling in between the 50s and the 80s, Walter would be a legend already. Like just how good he is. Like this guy, man, like it's incredible. What these two did in the ring together is unreal. Ilya making it believable. Like very few things in this match, like everything worked. They didn't do anything unnecessary. Like I just loved it. Everything else on the card, like Cole and O'Reilly was good, not great. Right. And then you had Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross, which was fine. But it really was Dragunov versus Walter that was really the high point of that show.
Yeah, agreed.
But I wanted to move on. I don't want to spend too much time on TakeOver because bigger news is happening to NXT, and that's that they're getting a revamp. It is confirmed. They've got a new logo. They've got a new theme song. And Ariel Helwani, there it is, the NXT logo, which looks very similar to the opening of Dynamite, if you want to reverse it, if anybody wants to say that. Okay. It also looks like in living color, so shout out to Keenan Ivory Wayans. A lot of people hated it. I was like, yeah, who cares? It's a logo. Just give it time. But so Nick Khan was on YouTube in an interview with Ariel Helwani on Ariel Helwani Meets. He was his guest, and he further clarified that yes, NXT would be getting a revamp in the next couple of weeks. You will see that soon in look, feel, and presentation. So it looks like we're going to be getting a different NXT than what we thought, which is what John and I have been speculating over the past couple of weeks. This was definitely going to happen. So that looks like that's a thing. But I also wanted to say that also in that interview, Khan went on to say that he would not rule out a 4-hour version of Monday Night Raw in the future. So go ahead and kill me now. What do you think of Nick Khan's comments regarding NXT and a 4-hour Monday Night Raw?
Let me explain to you something. Let me explain to the people something. And this is something I've learned over the last 5 years. People are absolutely down with a 4-hour podcast because they can break that up over 4 days, over 2 days. They can go and mow the lawn while they're listening, drive around while they're listening to the podcast. They can do a million things. A show like this that relies on visuals and whatever, a 4-hour essentially glorified house show is ridiculous to even consider or think about, as if there weren't enough commercials, as if people weren't fast forwarding enough through. This is the wrong idea. If you're letting go of a bunch of talent, what you needed to be doing is tightening up, making it lean and mean and slick. That's what you need to be doing. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. And I guarantee you, because they can't even fill up 3 hours now, quality wise, there's no way they're going to be able to consistently fill up 4 hours every night, or every Monday night rather, with Raw. It's almost like they want to bury the show in a subconscious way with these decisions. So it just drives me insane. But, Nick Khan, I don't know if I've known about Nick Khan for a while because I was at Way More. I was at Way Morris for voiceover for a little while. So we knew about CAA and all the people involved in CAA. So watching this interview, by the way, Ariel, I mean, you can tell this dude it's right off the bat with Ariel admitting that they had worked together, that he was his agent. I was like, yeah, so why are you interviewing him? This is such a, you're not going to get honest answers. You're not going to get real tough questions from someone who is friends with the guy. You got to get someone who's not tied to this dude in any way, shape, or form to find out the truth. But this is PR. They know they went to a friendly interviewer who's still building his show out after he's separate out of ESPN, and Khan gave him all the rote answers he's supposed to give and some interesting tidbits. But overall, it wasn't a show that felt like it challenged him in any way, shape, or form. So what answers did we really get? And Dave Meltzer, just to add on to this, he in Wrestler Observer, he wrote about how Khan has been told, apparently behind the scenes, about the competition that AEW poses. And from the beginning, he's had to be aware of that. And he kind of answered the question in a political way with Ariel saying, well, we see everything as competition, but we're really competing with ourselves with our blinders on. So a nice way to walk both sides, as an agent would do, So I didn't really take much out of that interview that I really believed or put much stock in. What about you?
I don't know if the 4-hour Raw comment was necessarily like for real. Like I hope not, because it's so bad. We didn't talk about this, and maybe we should have.
Yeah.
Are they subconsciously like tanking Raw? Like let's really
I just mentioned that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want to jump off that point. Like are they tanking Raw? Because let's look at it. Let's look at the rosters.
Break it down.
SmackDown has Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
They had John Cena. They now have Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Sasha Banks, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Street Profits, the Mysterios, the Usos, Paul Heyman. They have all this stuff. And Monday Night Raw has Bobby Lashley as your world champion. Drew McIntyre is your constant second, always the number one contender. Charlotte Flair, a young upstart in Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
And
Nikki ASH.
Randy Orton.
Alexa?
Randy Orton.
Alexa?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. But it's like, but then you jump back to the other side. They have Toni Storm. They have SmackDown has Toni Storm. They have Liv Morgan, even though they don't put her on TV. So it's like
Dakota Kai now. Shotzi.
Maybe. Yeah, Shotzi and Tegan Nox. So it's like
Tegan Nox. Sorry, Tegan Nox. Yeah.
So are they? Because if I was in, there was a rumor about that USA Network's pissed.
Yeah,
because they tanked NXT. NXT's done. That's not what USA paid for.
Right.
They didn't pay for this.
Yeah. And
they're not paying for this crap either. This crappy television Monday Night Raw, which I would say the majority of people, if you are in the chat and you sit through Monday Night Raw for every 3 hours, please say I or something, because that's insane. Yeah. Like I couldn't sit through it. Like I have to watch it on Hulu. I got to watch 14-minute clips that people put together on YouTube. Like I just can't do it. Like I don't know what's going on. Like once again, I have no idea what their game plan is. Like what are they doing?
Yeah. I agree with you. It's frustrating on so many levels, and you don't know which way they're going to turn to make this happen. And they should just, it's like the situation where you want to break up with that person, but you don't want to be the asshole. So you convince yourself that if you act like a certain way, the person will break up with you, so that it's not on you. And you can say, well, they broke up with me, man. Apparently they just didn't like who I am or what I'm about. But you don't know that behind the scenes, you're pulling all kinds of shit to make sure that person would break up with you. It's nuts. And so it almost feels like this is what's happening with WWE. They know they've got a way bigger partner in Fox than USA. So they are making these decisions and doing these things that they're doing to kind of tank Raw. And does it increase the stock price or drive the stock price down? I don't know, but making it 4 hours ain't going to make anybody happy. That's for damn sure. And especially, as you said, with that dearth of talent on the roster that they have. But of course, was it Vince or somebody came out from the company saying that they don't want to do? Oh, I think it was Khan who said, we're not looking at indie talent anymore. We're looking at other avenues. So what does that mean? Does that mean like Jake Paul's going to be a damn wrestler? Are they going to look at influencers, TikTokers? Is this where they're going now, that they're going to somehow, they see the Miz playbook, which is a damn rarity, and they're going to go and try to make that happen over and over again to bring in this built-in audience? Is this what someone pitched and now the WWE is doing it? Is that what do you think?
Like I said, I don't know what the plan is. I hope they don't. I hope they don't go that route, because just look at the reaction that Logan Paul got when he was on screen at SummerSlam, just booed out of the building. I hope that's not the way to go, because it's just sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Can you boot that Brandon Bell guy out of
What's he doing? Is he doing stupid shit?
He's just saying stupid stuff in the chat that's not relevant to anything. So just give him the bootski.
Right. Sorry, Brandon. Bye.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. And then did you see Gable Steveson, the Olympic gold medalist at SummerSlam? You saw him, right?
I did.
I said when I saw him, I said, oh my God, they've got to get this guy. He looks amazing. He's Olympic champion. They got to get him. And now I'm thinking maybe they shouldn't, because they'll probably ruin him too. So maybe just run for your life. I don't know. I think the WWE that we've all known to come and love is something's happening, dude.
Yeah,
something's happening.
It feels like a transition time where Vince is listening to a bunch of people. Look, they brought back Laurinaitis. So tell me, who is in there that really understands the market and is and can tell Vince what they're doing. And I wonder if we had these podcasts back when WCW was starting to take over and WWE was starting to lose to WCW, which was something no one had ever thought was going to be possible. I wonder if we'd be saying the same things at the time. Like, what is Vince doing? Why is he doing this? Tatanka? What is this all about? You know, where are we going with this? And then seeing the change. So you wonder, Vince was much younger then. You wonder who is in that office, in the executive office, and tell Vince, like, yo, this is the way to go. We should do this. We should get the influencers. We should get the YouTube people. We should blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't make any sense at all on so many levels. And I wonder, where else are you going to go if you don't go to the indie talent? Are you just going to bring people in to start a program at the Performance Center? That I can get behind. You trying to look at people with built-in audiences to bring them on and try to make them wrestlers, that I cannot get behind, because other people are going to have to take losses to those people to build them up, who have great records and can actually wrestle. And that's a shit way to bring people into your business, in my opinion. You know,
it's beyond frustrating. Like, if you're a Major League Baseball team, you have a farm system, right? Mm-hmm. You don't just go, okay, give me Tim Tebow. Didn't work, right. Did it? So it just doesn't make sense. It just stupid.
Agreed. We got a couple of super chats that have rolled through here. Ranger Donald 1 says, talking about Toni Storm, she was last seen on her SmackDown debut on July 23rd and hasn't been seen or heard from since on anything.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, because from what I read, they like Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And that's why they brought her up, because they were impressed with her. So apparently either she's getting some sort of revamp, or she's going to get moved to Raw, or something's happening. Sense. So I don't know.
The Raw move makes much more sense to me.
Well, they need people.
Yeah. Dodger Ryan 124 says, I only watch the pay-per-views now. They show the highlights and build up already, which saves you 5 hours of your day.
Now, I don't hate that strategy. I don't hate that. That sounds like me in Star Wars. Like, I just watch the movies, man. Like, I don't read the books. Like, I don't read the comics. I don't watch the Bad Batch, or I probably should, but I don't watch it. So, I can understand that. Totally get it.
Yeah. Me too. I think it's a smart move. And if it gets the job done, Ryan, and you understand what's happening, then you've absolutely saved your time, and you know how to do it right. Because the WWE always puts together incredible packages, building up their matches that they play before the matches. It gets you all hyped up all over again. So it's a great way to kind of shortcut what you need to have invested when you go into watching a match on any of their pay-per-views. Great point. By the way, we got 93 of you watching us live. Whoa. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you hit that like button as you're going along. That's that thumbs up button. If it's your first day on YouTube, we appreciate it. If you're watching later, and a lot of you do, please make sure you leave a comment down below, as well as hitting the like button. We really appreciate that. And share the video on your social media so other people who are pro wrestling fans can find Strong Style and join us every week, or watch it every week when we drop it here on the channel. All right. And we got a couple Streamlabs, I think, that have come through as well from Justin Toner. He says, hi, John and Aaron. Still upset over Becky Bianca fiasco. Stupid booking, but I'm happy that Becky is back. The EST was still over big time with the fans last night on SmackDown. Thankfully, Walter Dragunov was a 5-star match of the year candidate. So good. Also, Liv Morgan was back on SmackDown last night, and the fans were behind her. Had good match with Bianca. Her and Naomi back was nice, but Toni Storm was not on, which made no sense to me. Give her a feud with Carmella or Zelina to build her up. It's not that hard. Yeah, that's a great point. Toni Storm and Zelina or Carmella would work. Yeah.
I think someone said that Zelina, since she's returned, is like 0-14 on TV. Yeah. And it's just like, why did you bring her back if she's going to do nothing but lose? Like, it doesn't. I don't think I've seen Carmella win. Like, I know she beat. I think she beat Liv Morgan once that I've seen on television, but I haven't seen her win since being on TV. And she returned to, like, she got this whole character thing, and then they didn't do anything with it. So next round of cuts, like, I don't know.
She's doing more on social media than she is in the ring. She's more successful, Carmella, on social media than she is in the ring and whatever they're doing.
Unfortunately, that'll probably be to her detriment with the company. So
probably. And as far as Zelina 0-14, that's an interesting point you bring up, Aaron. Right. I think they're almost punishing her for pulling the move that she did, and her coming back maybe she came back a little bit on her knees, begging to come back and be part of the WWE. And they're like, okay, but you're going to be basically cannon fodder for a little while before we let you win a match as a way of paying your dues to the business. I don't know.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you bring someone back, make such a big deal of bringing her back as a heel, and then have her keep losing. How are you building up a heel if they keep losing? It makes no sense to me at all, for sure.
No.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's all the Streamlabs Super Chats for now. Please keep sending them in, folks. We got another half an hour left in the show. So if you got something you want to say as we go along, please feel free to send in Streamlabs Super Chat. Streamlabs right above. The address is above Aaron's head. It's also pinned in the chat and in the description of this video. Where are we off to next, my man?
All right, so we got a couple possible signings here, some landing destinations for some former WWE superstars, and that is the former Braun Strowman, Adam Scherr, real name, looks to be headed to Impact Wrestling, of all places, kind of surprising to me. EVP Scott D'Amore hinted that somebody would be Braun for Glory, so that is, and he said that's an Easter egg, kids. So there's that. And he said that Buddy Murphy, former Buddy Murphy, now Buddy Matthews, could debut on Impact this week. So we could see a nice return for two superstars that were kind of surprisingly cut. Braun Strowman looking better than ever. If you haven't seen any pictures of him, unbelievable shape that guy's got in. And of course, Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews, whatever you want to call him, has always been great. So what do you think about Impact possibly picking up these two guys?
Dude, I'm really surprised that Strowman would go to Impact. Like, is there no room at AEW for this guy? This seems like a step below. So I'm kind of surprised by this. Maybe he's just cooling his jets, collecting some money. Maybe they're going to pay him a shit ton of money, or as much as they can on Impact, because it's a great acquisition. Now, what are you going to show us in the ring? Are you able to put butts in seats? Are you able to bring fans to the Impact product? That's great. I don't think Buddy Murphy's going to move the needle that much, but I think Braun Strowman has a real opportunity to do so, but he could also get lost in Impact as well, dude. And if you get lost in Impact, how does that help you move up the chain to go back in the WWE maybe down the road? So I don't know. Maybe he's got other plans for other things. There were rumors they had other ventures he wanted to explore. There were rumors that he was thinking about retiring from wrestling. So maybe this is a way of kind of like, I'll do it part-time, make a little cash, but I can focus on my other stuff, building up my other stuff. And that's smart. Remember, Strowman, as big as he is, you can get diluted and think he's an older guy. He's not. He's kind of young. So he's got some time to look at other avenues to create revenue streams for himself. And I applaud all of that for a young man like that. So yeah, what do you think could happen to him down at Impact?
I think that's an interesting point you make about him wanting to do it part-time. He's 37 years old. So he's not too old. In wrestling speak, he's getting up there, but he's not too old. Right. I think we're going to see him in the movies, dude. A guy like that, like the way that he looks, he screams Dolph Lundgren to me, like that kind of guy. Like he's just a big guy that you could put in any kind of action movie as the villain and you would believe it, or you could put him in something and he would be like the comedy funny guy, like he would be the big funny guy that they would use. So I think there's a future in film for Braun Strowman. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? My fear is that if he comes to Impact, I think the only way that he makes a quote unquote impact, sorry for the pun, is that Braun Strowman has to be your world champion. Like he's got to beat somebody quick. Yeah. But I don't think that he will. I don't think that he wants to do that necessarily because he doesn't want to do all those dates. And they're not. AEW's not going to let him beat Christian. Right. Like he's got to destroy whoever the champion is. Whoever the champion is, Braun Strowman must destroy them, and then he must hold that title. So that's kind of a catch-22 for Impact Wrestling. Like. You bring in a guy like this as an attraction because, WWE did it for a long time with Big Show. Like, Big Show was their big attraction. So this could be a big attraction for Impact, even though they already have William Morrissey, the former Big Cass. They have him, but you kind of see him sporadically. So getting a guy like Braun Strowman, you have to have a plan in place to where it benefits everybody. So I think that bringing him in will do nothing but help Impact, and it may help Braun. It may work out in the term for both camps. I hope it does. So I'm excited to see Braun Strowman. Could be a good opportunity for him. We'll see.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All right. Anything else to say on this one? Should we move on?
Well, I'm good. I'm glad to see Buddy Matthews as well. I think he fits right in with that Impact roster, though. Him and Brian Myers. And Brian Myers probably look at each other like you, me, you, him, like they look the same. So I don't know how that's going to work.
That's a fair point. All right, let's see if we got any more Streamlabs. Oh, yeah, Aaron Klister sent in a Streamlab. He said, getting YouTube personalities to be on a national wrestling show is like getting TikTokers to do an hour of stand-up. Yeah,
Fuck.
That's a good point. What do you think?
Stop it. Stop with bringing in influencers, man. Have you seen, I'm sure you have because it's been advertised everywhere. Have you seen this Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley lead up to this match? Like, it makes me just want to punch myself in the face.
Tyron Woodley saying you got some bumps on your face. You taking PEDs? That's the latest accusation I read today.
It just, if this is a legitimate fight, and I mean, like, Tyron Woodley's obviously a legitimate fighter as the UFC Strikeforce champion, obviously a legit fighter. Jake Paul has done well in his amateur boxing career or professional boxing career so far. Yeah. If this is a legitimate fight, shouldn't Tyron Woodley just kill this guy? Like,
could. Yeah.
Please. Just put him in a coma. Please. Like, nothing life threatening, but just please.
I hear you. I'm not wishing anybody in a coma, but certainly that is a possibility when you get in the ring with a guy like Tyron Woodley. So we shall see. And if he's doing PEDs, he can, because it's not a sanctioned fucking fight. It's not under any kind of, league or organization or anything like that. It's not official in any way, shape, or form. So it's just like one of these carnival fights that they used to do way back in the old days. So yeah, do what you need to do, I guess, to win, son. You'll pay for it down the road. But yeah, I agree with you. It's ridiculous. And I agree with Aaron. There's no reason you should be getting YouTube personalities. It was like what Addison Rae, what she's doing, because she could dance on TikTok. All of a sudden, she can be a sideline reporter at the UFC, and now she's getting all kinds of shit for being all giddy, trying to go talk to Trump, and then she's trying to downplay it because she got completely skewered for it. So there's jokes. It's all jokes. It's all ridiculous, and they don't care because they get the attention. That's what they want.
Who was the person that said recently that UFC ring girls serve no purpose?
I don't know.
And it was like, are you new? Of course they don't. Anyway, geez. Okay, sorry, we got off topic. But
Chris Ramos. All right, Chris Ramos. It's for Showtime. How is it not sanctioned? What league is it sanctioned for, Ramos? Do your research.
Yeah,
I'm happy to change my mind on it. Please tell me it's for UFC or Strikeforce or Invicta or anything else that's still around. It's not. It's just an exhibition match, so it's not sanctioned by a goddamn thing, dude. What's wrong with you? Come on, brother.
Oh, PRL 18 says it was Khabib that said that. Yeah,
Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib said that. Of course,
Khabib's he's dropping all the tea lately, man.
Yeah. Calm down. I would say calm down, Khabib. Be full.
Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah.
We all know why it's there, and we appreciate it.
Exactly. Don't bring other stuff into here. We got a couple more. Sorry, guys. We got a couple more. We got Javier Reyes. This great show, guys. Thank you very much, Javier. I appreciate you watching. We appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. And he also sent another one. He says, imagine being an actual wrestler and the biggest wrestling company in the world doesn't want you because you're a wrestler. A wrestling company wants to hire people who aren't wrestlers. Ugh. Yeah.
You've worked your entire life to be something, and the company's like, we don't want that. What's your YouTube following? Like, fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what's funny? Like, if the current WWE worked this way, you know who would be their world champion? Zack Ryder. Like, come on. Like,
that's a good point.
Get out of here. Just
Alexa Bliss would never lose the belt.
She would be the champion forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right, let's what else we got? I think that's it for Streamlabs Super Chat so far. So let's keep going and keep sending them in. We got about, like I said, 30 minutes left in the show, so please keep sending them in. All right, where are we off to next, my man?
All right. So now we're going to controversy. Now we're getting into it. So first disclaimer.
Yeah.
White man.
Okay.
Latino man.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Brandi Rhodes. And Brandi is somebody that I like.
Okay.
But this tweet on Twitter, sometimes she puts le foot in the mouth. And this time she has. She tweeted out yesterday, which has now been deleted. She said, this might start some poop emoji, but let's talk. I see a lot of people complaining on here that there aren't enough black talent featured in wrestling. Yet, when black talent is out there busting it in main events and holding championships, where's the love? Am I just missing it? John.
Yeah.
Brandi herself. Go ahead.
No. Please go ahead. Set up what you're setting up, my man. I'm sorry.
Brandi herself is the CBO of AEW, Chief Branding Officer, and her husband, Cody, is an EVP.
Yes.
Okay. So if we want to start pushing black wrestlers let's use AEW for example. They've had 2 black champions in their entire run, which was Scorpio Sky as a tag team champion and Nyla Rose as the women's champion.
Right.
Great. That's wonderful. Shouldn't you be the one pushing black wrestlers as someone that is also black? And wouldn't you think that would be something that would be important to you rather than Cody, your husband, essentially cutting a promo saying that all lives matter and making us all want to jump off a bridge? Yeah. So the problem is kind of look in the mirror, Brandi. Like, honestly, what do you got, man? I got more, but I want to hear what you have to say.
It's a complex issue. And I get the general overall point that Brandi was trying to make, I think. And that was that when you see black champions, people don't rally around them at the same levels as white champions. In terms of merchandise sale, in terms of tickets, in terms of response, pops, all the natural metrics that occur in wrestling since the 1980s, all the natural metrics that you see. You don't see the same kind of consistent pop. I mean, The Rock is an exception, I think, to the rule for so many reasons, but like most of the time you don't. And I think that's what she's trying to say. You all are clamoring for black wrestlers to be champions, but then when they become champions, you guys don't support them at the same level, or the general overall fan base doesn't support them at the same level as they do a white champion. And I think she's not wrong in that way. And I think underneath what she's trying to say is that the reason companies don't put belts on black champions more consistently is because the public overall, the wrestling audience, which can be predominantly red state, doesn't support necessarily these black wrestlers becoming champions, and won't support them with their money or with their merchandise sales or with attendance at these arenas, or even verbal response at these arenas when they come out. So I got her overall point, but some people are twisting it to me like she's talking about black wrestling fans, and I don't think that's true at all. I think black wrestling fans are very adamant about black wrestlers getting recognition, becoming champions, and supporting them. That's my overall thought on it.
Look no further than the Bianca Belair situation.
Yeah.
Was there not an internet fucking uproar amongst all fans about how stupid that was? Like,
very true. Very true.
And I feel like when Kofi beat Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, people loved Kofi. They love Kofi Mania. They love the New Day.
True.
So I don't understand where this comes from. Like, maybe has it been consistent? No, I will give you that. But let's not act like we don't support black wrestlers, especially like even when they're not champion, like we don't support them. Like, come on.
Like, yeah, but you also know that people were saying that the reason the ratings were going down on Raw or on SmackDown was because Kofi Kingston was the champion.
It's a lie.
Black wrestlers, yeah, it might be a lie, but black wrestlers are the first people that get blamed when shit starts happening at a company. If they happen to be champions, they immediately get blamed. Never mind that there have been a number of lulls when white wrestlers were champion, and I'm even including Bret Hart in that. That there's the thing that you look at and you go, well, why do black champions immediately get blamed or immediately get the shit end of the stick versus white champions when stuff like that starts to happen? Look, I think she was clumsy in how she said it, but I think she was trying to make a general overall point. So yes, there is support, but I think we need to see metrics. I think we need to see statistics of what happens in a company when a black champion is there versus a white champion. And even a run-of-the-mill white champion versus a like Kofi Kingston type champion, or even Bobby Lashley type champion. But I also think that we're in a transition place, Aaron. We're seeing more black wrestlers become champions. Yeah. We're seeing them keep the belt for longer periods. We're seeing something like Bianca versus Sasha. We're seeing Kofi versus Bobby Lashley. We're seeing more and more consistency in the appearance of black wrestlers in these federations. So you want to see that continue. And I agree with you. Brandi should be pushing Cody to make this happen. But I also don't know if Brandi has some, red state points of views as well herself behind the scenes. I don't know overall. So maybe that's kind of feeding into some of the things that she's saying as well. I don't know, throwing speculation out there.
I think maybe I think the point was that Brandi's not the right person to, or maybe she's not the person that people should gravitate towards in a conversation like this. Maybe, What if Ron Simmons said something like this as the first Black World Champion? Maybe Ron Simmons cast the bigger, like if Ron Simmons
Right.
said
when I was
y'all,
there,
y'all need to support black wrestlers, like you're not doing it. Like, okay, Ron, but not Brandi, who's done nothing in the wrestling business. Brandi, what are you talking? I just felt like it was just she's just talking out her ass. I feel like she was talking about Red Velvet, and people don't support Red Velvet, which is her pet project. She loves her some Red Velvet, and the people just aren't gravitating towards her. And I think she takes offense to that because that's her project, or that's at least what it feels like. Now, they do have people in the roster. I think Scorpio Sky is somebody that they definitely undervalue. I think Scorpio Sky could have been a future world champion with AEW. I think he had not now because of Kenny Omega and CM Punk and everybody else they got coming in because he's getting shoved way down. But I think he had the look and athleticism, and you could have got him the mic skills or worked with him, and he could have been a world champion. But they didn't do that. So I don't know, dude. Like, kind of support your own people. Like, I don't know.
No, you're not off base. That's what I think. I think it was a clumsy take by her, and it's not the first time. You know, and you know, you're going to take crap when you're in a position that you're in. And people feel like, you know, how did you get to this position? Because you married Cody. There is that narrative out there. And so people are going to question everything Brandi does. I do think most of the time her heart is in the right place, but there is some clumsy moments. And, you know, at least she's willing to say something. There are so many people in the WWE who probably feel the same way she does, who are black wrestlers that won't come out and say it because they don't want to risk Vince's wrath or being pushed down the roster or not being booked on things. So, you know, that's a possibility too. So although she may be clumsy, at least she's sparking some conversation about it overall. And I wish she'd left the tweet up, you know, I wish she had, just to kind of have more conversation about it.
Brandi is the Twitter queen of tweet and delete. So
that's true.
Yeah.
True.
And also, I want to come back on that Kofi Kingston lowest ratings thing. That's not true. Kofi Kingston actually boosted SmackDown's ratings when he was champion. Not only that, he boosted their international ratings. Which is a huge thing for WWE. It was the first time they went to West Africa for a show. Was because of Kofi Kingston. So that whole narrative that Kofi didn't draw, horseshit. He drew. It's just they got Brock Lesnar back and they wanted to put the title on Brock Lesnar. So there's that. It's not true. It's bullshit.
It's like narrative. Bianca. They got Becky back and they want to put the title on Becky. Yeah, it's the same thing. Very, very true, man. Well, Ricochet, Jarvis Walker says Ricochet gets a lot of grief. Yeah, because Ricochet's not good on the mic. That's he doesn't get a lot of grief for what he does in the ring. He's incredible in the ring, but he's not that great on the mic, and that causes problems. And look, we've given shit to a lot of white wrestlers who are good in the ring and are shitty on the mic. It's the game, you know? It's the game. So you got to understand that as well.
And I do want to end by saying I like Brandi Rhodes. She has 2 college degrees. She's well qualified to be the CBO. So I'm not saying that she's not qualified to do that and to have her position. What I'm saying is, like, maybe like the whole, like, her reputation for tweeting and deleting and things that she says just doesn't hold weight. Like, if she would stand by her convictions and show us on television that she's firmly behind that, I'll get behind you. But until we've done that, it's just like, quit pushing your own shit and go on TV and show me what you want me to see. Help me help you.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. All right, where are we off to next, my man?
All right, now we're going to talk positively about AEW because CM Punk was on Rampage last night, and CM Punk maybe address some Daniel Bryan rumors that are going around. And when the crowd started chanting, yes, 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 CM Punk interrupted and said, that's somebody else's shtick, and you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. So was CM Punk teasing the Daniel Bryan debut in AEW? And then not only that, an article, I will tell you this could be possible spoilers, so go ahead and jump ahead if you don't want to hear this. But
spoilers.
There is possibility that Daniel Bryan may make his debut at next weekend's All Out pay-per-view, which is allegedly ahead of schedule, as they originally, I think, wanted him to debut at their New York show on September 22nd. But it looks like they're pushing up Daniel Bryan to continue that momentum that AEW has right now, and it's a lot. So with COVID concerns and stuff like that in New York and how that was going to go, it looks like they have pushed up Daniel Bryan's possible debut. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Daniel Bryan's prospects in AEW right now?
I think it's great. I mean, I watched the Punk and Christian Kazarian conversation there after they turn off the live cameras and you got to watch what they had to say. I thought it was great. These guys understand where they're at in terms of their years in the business and where they're at in terms of their time of their career, right? And they're able to appreciate things. Christian Cage has never looked better than he looks now.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Hogan when he turned heel in the NWO. Like, that was the best Hogan had ever looked. He was ripped. He was leaner. He was meaner. He looked fantastic. Same thing with Christian Cage. A Punk last night without the sleeves, he looked fantastic. He looks like he's ready to go. Daniel Bryan's going to come in great shape as well. Kazarian looks fantastic. They all these guys, they understand what they need to do to be successful in this business, and they're willing to make the sacrifices. So I think Daniel Bryan is another guy who's absolutely going to come into this thing, set it all on fire, and it's going to possibly elevate AEW to finally start competing to a degree with the WWE fully. And that is going to send shockwaves through the industry. If they start to move a show to Monday night or to Friday night to challenge the WWE, don't be surprised if we don't see that either by the beginning of next year or the middle of next year. If they start to sense that they really have forward momentum with this company, you want to prove that you can do it. And the best way to prove it is to go toe to toe with old Vincey and see if you can beat him in the ratings. And I don't know if they can, but don't be surprised. Daniel Bryan is another piece towards moving the football, matriculating the ball down the field, as Chris Berman used to say. And I appreciate that.
People in the chat corrected me that it was actually Dynamite, not Rampage. Sorry about that, guys. I know that I've had a firm stance on this, but I'm going to change it because I said that AEW is not competition with WWE. Competition's here now. Yeah. Because I don't think that AEW or WWE or us fans realize the impact that CM Punk's return would have not only on the wrestling business, but us as fans. I think that we anticipated something huge. I don't think we anticipated like a quake. And I think that's what we got. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such forward momentum that the lapsed fan that likes CM Punk that's been in and out over the past couple of years says, "Ooh, that's interesting." Yeah. And then, okay, well, let's strike while the iron's hot. Next week, let's get Bryan in here. And then let's say that somebody's scrolling through Twitter, the lapsed fan, I wonder what AEW products do. Damn, they got Daniel Bryan too? Right. Okay, all right. I'm gonna keep around. Then in a couple weeks, let's say Adam Cole shows up, like scrolling through. Hey, I like NXT. Hey, that Adam Cole guys. I'm gonna have to start watching AEW. Right. Like, this is how it happens, dude. Yep. Like, CM Punk's return, I think, did 1.2 million on the rating, but SmackDown still did 1.8. So they're still that far ahead of AEW. Right. But that doesn't mean that can't change. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, if WWE and AEW continue on their current trajectories, we're ships in the night, dude. Like, like, absolutely. It all comes down to, what is WWE doing on Monday nights? What is happening there? Are they just going to tank and get rid of USA altogether and go somewhere else and do all Fox? Because if they do all Fox on Mondays and Fridays, that's kind of a game changer, because Fox is network television. It's not cable television. It's a completely different market. It's in way more homes that way. So that's a big game changer if that happens. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's just speculation. Mm-hmm. But that's what I could see is the only move that WWE is doing. Like, is that their end game, to get to network television, to combat AEW. Yes, they're going to be on TBS. Yes, AEW is on TNT. But when you get to network television, it's a completely different story. I know we're talking about Daniel Bryan, so I should get back to that. Yeah. When he comes in, I mean, look at the multitude of people he could face. Like, if they want to put him right up top with Kenny Omega, you can do that. Right. You want to put him in there with Darby, you can do that. You can do Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. Just name a myriad of AEW wrestlers he would be great with. Yeah. I mean, he's Daniel Bryan. He's one of the best in the world for a reason, and he will fight with anybody. The thing is, Daniel Bryan's going to be around less than CM Punk. Yeah. Because from what I read, he wanted limited dates with, the option to do Japan as well. The guy's a family man. He knows he doesn't have that many years left with the past injury issues, and he's not the youngest guy. So he's smart in what he's doing. So anytime Daniel Bryan shows up, I'm going to be excited to see him. Yeah, agree. And if they get Cole, then dude. I mean, it's, you start to watch more. More casual observers might start to watch more. You know what I'm saying? And who knows who might leave the WWE, whose contracts are coming up, both male and female, who want to maybe just jump on over to AEW and see what they can do. Why not? It's certainly possible. And that should motivate all the wrestlers in AEW now to work even harder to maintain their spot or move up
so that whoever shows up, they're in a good position to possibly be in a program with those people. So, I mean, this is it's all. I mean, competition breeds the best, and so it's like you want to get, and the ones who can't handle it, you got to weed that shit out. Some people complain about competition, some people cry about competition, they cry about elements of competition, and some people can't handle it. Then don't do it anymore. That's the game. So get out. If you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, that's the game. And so in professional wrestling, certainly it's very true. If people are coming over and you're complaining about it instead of working harder about it, then you've got the wrong attitude. You got the wrong attitude, and we shall see.
I mean, we see it in other sports too. Like, look at the NBA. Like, the Lakers brought in, they got LeBron. Then they brought in Anthony Davis. They won a championship. They did win the championship this year. So what do? Yeah. They get Russell Westbrook. So they get these pieces around that will help build the team, and they can eventually win. Yeah. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, imagine if you will, CM Punk comes in, Daniel Bryan comes in, Adam Cole comes in, Bray Wyatt comes in.
Yeah.
These other, then you kind of just look at something completely different. Like,
yeah.
If CM Punk really wants to change the culture, like I said last week, he's got to help with that AEW structure. Like,
right.
And also, John, if you bring in these people, what happens to guys like the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
Who are not on that level, no offense, to Daniel Bryan and CM Punk in terms of wrestling and worldwide popularity, I guess I would say. They're not on the same level, in my opinion. Does that change things? Does that change a dynamic? Where's the jealousy come from? Because it's going to happen eventually. It always does.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. If they can work all that shit out and everybody gets along harmoniously, AEW, man, can't believe I'm saying this. True contender for the crown.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot has to go right. A lot has to go right for them to make up that gap. But it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility. And it certainly looks way more possible over the last few months than it did at any time before then. So this is going to be it's going to be fun to watch as it all plays out for sure. And we'll be watching all of it to see if it does end up, or how the WWE reacts too. If the WWE all of a sudden gets their act together, because you're looking at Nick Khan. How old is Nick Khan? He's in his late 40s, 50s. I mean, he doesn't look like a young man. You got all these old dudes making decisions. That NXT thing could completely tank. Triple H no spring chicken himself, but does he really know what young people want? Who is really on the front lines advising these people to understand what the new generation of wrestling fans really want? The rebellious nature of AEW against WWE. AEW is essentially Becky Lynch to WWE's Charlotte Flair at that time when Becky blew up. And so there's a possibility here that people get really behind AEW to go against the WWE, who is, the been there forever. And so there's just possibilities. But once you get there, you can't do what WCW did, which is just rest on your laurels and believe your own shit doesn't stink. And then eventually you're getting your ass sold to fucking WWE. You got to keep feeling like you're chasing the big dog. That's how it works. Never feel comfortable. Never feel like you've got it all squared away. That's how Vince has always been. And the only way to beat Vince is to feel that way every day of your life when you're running a wrestling company. That's it, honestly.
I just continue to have a question for all the AEW super fans out there. Why is QT Marshall on my television? Get him off my television. I don't want him on my television. Shouldn't be on a pay-per-view. Get him off my television.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story for another time.
That's a fair point. Draws Walker sent us one super chat here. I didn't read it. Sorry, Draws. Let me give you proper credit here. Great show, guys. This has been a very juicy chat for latest happenings in pro wrestling. It is a good time to be a fan. No doubt. No doubt.
So good, I didn't even brush my hair today. It's a frenzy, dude. Like, every day you wake up to something different. Like, something different's happening. Somebody's going somewhere. Somebody did something crazy in a different federation or a different group. It's just, dude. It's just, it's an exciting time for sure. But if you're a WWE fan, it's kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest with you. It kind of feels like you get kicked in the balls every day.
I like what Justin Toner is saying here. AEW is not perfect. You're right.
No,
and that's the important thing to remember here. This is not like some well-oiled machine that you're waiting for people to discover. This is a damn good machine, but it's got some kinks to work out if it's really going to go toe-to-toe with WWE and consistently stay on top. It's not going to be easy, but they can do it. It's a matter of can they take the steps to make that happen. We shall see. All right. Anything more to get into, Aaron, or are we done for the day here?
I mean, it's just not necessarily about being perfect, but it's about being good enough to that when you have a hole in your dam, you can plug it quickly. That's really all you can do, because WWE does a really good job of that, believe it or not. When something goes wrong, they kind of swoop in and have something ready.
Right.
So can AEW, if something crazy happens, let's say I don't even want to put this out there, but it's like the most horrific scenario. Like, what if CM Punk and Darby happens next week? Punk tears an ACL. Like, you've got to have something ready to go. So can you jump on that? I don't mean to put that on CM Punk. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. I don't want that to happen. But that's just, you got to handle, like, juggle all the plates. Can AEW do that? They haven't had to do that yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, there we go. I think that's our show for today, Aaron. I don't think there's anything else we can talk about. No Streamlabs and Super Chats that are left here for us to touch on. So thank you to everybody who watched this live episode of Strong Style. We always appreciate you all hanging out with us, and we appreciate the lively chat that is going on. We got 101 people watching us live. So hit that like button, hit that, and leave a comment down below if you're watching later as well. We appreciate it. Aaron, another awesome show, my man. Love you madly. Talk to people, talk to us. Tell us where the hell they can find you and talk wrestling with you.
You can find me on Twitter at only Aaron Turner. I've got a FCL match coming up. I don't know who my opponent is, and I don't know when it is, but it's coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll keep you posted. And also, my wife thought this was a transformer, so now I'm getting divorced. Just to throw that out there.
Is that Mecha Godzilla?
Now you and I are getting a divorce.
Oh, no.
It's actually the Dragon Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh.
What's good? What's good?
I did not watch Mighty Morphin, so respect. All right, that was a little bit after my time. All right, and you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. If you want to hang out with me on Twitch, The Outlaw Nation, all one word. And if you want to join the Patreon and support all the stuff we're doing here on the Outlaw Nation channel, go to patreon.com/John Rocha. See a few of you guys who are in the Patreon get to hang out, do the hangouts twice a week, talking about everything, including pro wrestling, entertainment, life stuff, Shimodown, whatever you want to talk about, it's all there on the plate if you want to do that. Please remember to share this video as well on your social media. Let people know that you love the show that we're doing, and bring more people onto the Strong Style family. It would be a lot of fun. The more the merrier for sure, as we keep building overall. And if you got any ideas for shows that you'd like to see with the Strong Style banner on it, let us know as well. Always open to expanding the brand, because we love what we're doing here on Strong Style and on the Outlaw Nation channel. All right, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. Y'all be well. What? Good.
NWA Empower tonight.
Oh,
if you support women's wrestling, watch NWA Empower tonight. Mickey James executive producing. A lot of good stuff going on there. We like to support our female wrestlers, Trish. So support the NWA and check out NWA Empower tonight on Fight TV.
Yeah. The full card was announced real quick. Camille versus Layla Hirsch for the belt. Deonna Purrazzo, who a lot of people love
Deonna,
versus Melina. The NWA Women's Invitational Cup Gauntlet is Tootie Lynn, Jamie Senegal, Chelsea Green, Lady Frost, Debbie Malenko, Bianca Corelli, Masha Slamovich, Genocide, Thunder Kitty, and Kiera Hogan. Then there's a women's tag team championship tournament semifinal match. The Hex, that's Allison Kay and Marty Bell, taking on the heel, Sahara 7 and Renee Michelle. Then NWA women's tag team championship tournament semifinal, Red Velvet and Kylene King versus the Free Babes. That's Miranda Gordy and Haley J. Am I wrong that I'm seeing a lot of old school names as last names?
You are daughters of legends. Yes,
great legacies here. NWA women's tag team championship tournament finals match as well. So the winners of those two will face later on in the night. And then Kylie Ray versus Chick Tormenta versus Diamante. So hell of a card for sure, Aaron, on NWA Empowered tonight.
Yep, check that out. And Ric Flair on NWA 73 tomorrow night. So check that out. There you go.
Respect. All right. Thanks again, guys. Take care of yourselves. Wear your masks. Get vaccinated. Practice social distancing. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Strong Style.